So, I've been working in this field, space, or whatever you want to call it, since the mid-'80s. You know, maybe a little bit different than some of the people, you know, that have been speaking here, because I might have been called in the past, you know, drug dealer, criminal, you know, drug addict, you know, all types of different names, but, you know, I always refer to myself as an activist, you know, trailblazer, advocate, because, you know, I never like that word criminal. You know, I've been to prison, I've been to jail, you know, all that stuff. You know, actually, 28 of the last 31 years, I've either been in prison or on probation. And you know, I'm currently on probation. So, you know, but I never consider myself a criminal, you know, because I never carried a gun. I've never been violent, I never beat people up. You know, I push these substances, you know, that I thought were righteous. In the 80s, you know, the counterculture, you know, following Grateful Dead, we considered these the righteous drugs, you know, the righteous substances. You know, I didn't fuck with cocaine, I didn't fuck with meth, I didn't fuck with no shit like that. I mess with psychedelics and cannabis. You know, that's kind of like my vocation. So, you know, when people would label me, especially the government, you know, the federal government, state government, DEA, whatever, when they would say, you're a criminal, I would say, no, I'm an outlaw. I break laws that I think are wrong. And to me, that's about as American as you can be. You know, because I'm not going to let the government tell me what to put in my body. I'm not going to let the government tell me, oh, you can, sugar and nicotine and alcohol, all these substances are good, they're legal. But LSD, mushrooms, cannabis, oh, these are bad. It's all substances, so who is the government, who is anybody to dictate what is good and what is bad for you? That's all for us to decide. You know, so, like I say, I kind of come from a different side, you know, I come from the outlaw side, you know, I come from the counterculture, and, you know, that's kind of a little bit about my background. I'll tell you a little bit more about my personal story, but also, you know, I'm a writer, I'm a filmmaker, so, you know, first, I was kind of like this psychedelic cannabis warrior since early age, since like 13, 14, 15. You know, I was into this stuff, like in the mid-'80s, you know, before I was even 18. Then I got this, due to the war on drugs, I got this humongous prison sentence. You know, so in 1991, I was indicted on 7 10 to life counts. I was looking at 7 to life out of Northern Virginia. I grew up in California, ended up on the East Coast, you know, selling drugs at 15 colleges in 5 states, supplying with LSD and cannabis. So it came down, boom. You know, they were trying to like take my life away. Basically, I was only 20 years old, you know, and they were making me out to be like the Pablo Escobar of the suburbs, you know, or like Scarface of the college scene, you know, it's kind of crazy. But, you know, that's what they did in the war on drugs, because, you know, anybody that's, you know, that age, you think back to that time, there was a lot of hysteria, a lot of crazy stuff going on. You know, we can look in retrospect and say it was wrong, but whatever, you know what happened, you know. So, I did what I thought was right. I took off. You know, I said, fuck the government. I said, fuck that 70 years. I said, I'm not doing that shit. I was a drug dealer, so I had a little bit of money. You know, not like I was balling big time millionaire or anything like that, but I had a little bit of money. So I took off, and I was a fugitive. And you know what the government did, the U.S. Marshals did? They made me first time, non-violent, cannabis, psychedelic offender. They made me top 15 U.S. Marshals list. For